It's the end of the year, so I'm sort of, doing my annual inventory of disappointing sexual experiences. It's the time of the year. I'm coming off my favorite season. Right now, I tend to sexually thrive in October. Because, not to brag, but I am sort of like a sex symbol in the horny, impoverished haunted house employee community. Really just something about me. If you work in a haunted house, you just immediately foam at the mouth. I've never met a person dressed head to toe as Beetlejuice of any gender who didn't fully want to finger me until I die, right? Behind the nearest 7-Eleven. Like, something about me just really speaks to them. Had a good fall season. Going back a little bit, summer is my small man season. I don't know if anyone here has a small man season. I'm a taller lady. I'm 6 feet tall, and I appreciate a compact king, It's just... They're really willing to give it their all, but that's not the reason that I love them, although they are efficient. The thing I love about having sex with small men, I realized this a couple years ago, fun sex hack if you've never tried it, is if you're a person with a longer torso and there was like a smaller man having sex with me, and there's a way that you can angle your head upwards just so that it looks like you're having sex with no one at all. It's like... incredible. The second it happened, I was like, oh, this is what I've been going for the whole time. And the small men are great. They slide right out of you, and they just, I don't know where they go. They scuttle on home. They're great. I love them. Pretty good year. When you I know we live in an active hell, but like pretty good year when you think about it. I went home recently. I'm from Massachusetts, the last state where the female orgasm is still illegal. Yeah, cool. We've got a woo. He also specified for Massachusetts, not for women coming. I've never come in my home state. That's just a fact about me. Lived there for quite some time. Not for lack of effort on anyone's part. I just can't afford the king's tariff that comes with that transaction in that state. But the last time I was home, I went out with a group of my friends to a bar in Boston. And I've been living here for a while now, and someone came up to me at the bar in Boston and was like, hey, I think I know you from somewhere. And I was trying to look cool, because that never happened to me before, and I wanted to look cool in front of my friends from home. And so I was sort of just trying to be cool and just like receive the compliment, And so I was like, oh, cool, like, where do you think you know me from? I don't know where I thought they knew me. I was like, hey, do you watch youtube.com? Like, I'm not sure what I thought, but she was so confident, and I was like, cool, where do you know me from? And she was like, I know exactly who you are. Didn't you used to come to the same Dunkin Donuts in Boston every single day for 3 years, order tuna by yourself, and leave? And the second she said that, I knew exactly who she fucking was. It was my tuna barista from Boston. And I appreciate that she checked in, but it was very frustrating. She was like, oh my God, Tuna, because she thought my name was Tuna. Like they never learned my name. I knew her name. Her name was Carla, but she called me Tuna. Because I would. If you've never heard of the tuna sandwich at Dunkin Donuts, don't feel bad. It's been discontinued for quote-unquote not being meat. So it's more of a mayonnaise-based dish, but I really liked it. And I would go to the same Dunkin Donuts every day and order, just deep-throat a tuna and then get out of there. And she was very happy to see me. She was like, oh my God, Tuna, I have to ask you, do you remember the day you came in and there was no more tuna? And of course, as we all know, we tend to black out traumatic events. So I did not remember the day there was no more tuna. right? But she wanted to recap it for me. She was like, oh my God, the drama. She was like, I just want you to know, Tuna, we talked about you at our morning meeting that day at the Dunkin Donuts because the tuna sandwich had been quietly removed from the Dunkin Donuts menu. She was like, there was no need for a press release. No one else had ordered it besides you. So we knew we were going to have to tell you personally. And she was like, Tuna, just so you know, I requested to be on register that day so I could tell you myself. She was like, you'd usually come in around 2:30. It's 2:30. You're not there. 3 o'clock, you're not there. 3:30, you're not there. We're starting to think someone else got to you first. She's like, finally, around 4 o'clock, you come in. And for the first time ever, you walked in and said, what's up, guys? I'll have the usual. She's like, and my heart fucking sunk. And I had to say to you, Tuna, there's no more tuna. And you just looked around like you were lost. You didn't even know where you were. And then after a second or so, you just said, well, then what else do you serve here? And left, and we never saw you again. And that's true, but that's because I moved away, left the state. But I like her version of events better. I was so angry there was no more tuna at the Dunkin Donuts that I left the life I knew and never returned. I'll just tell you this and then I'll get out of your life forever, I promise. Is everyone here familiar with the song The Lady is a Tramp? Yes, we've a very popular song by Frank Sinatra. I was listening to it recently. There's a lot of twists and turns in this song narratively that you may not be aware of. I certainly wasn't. I just want to walk you through the first verse to The Lady is a Tramp, if you don't mind. So here we go. The Lady is a Tramp. Line 1. She's always hungry for dinner at 8. Okay. That's about dinner time. Seems reasonable. I'm good to go to the next line. Line 2. She loves the theater and never comes late. Makes sense. Shows are fun. Prompt, I like her. Line 3. She doesn't bother with people she hates. Reasonable. And then we get into the chorus. That's why the lady is a tramp. And you're like, that's why? She seems perfectly nice. You know, it's just like Frank Sinatra, a known mob member, is trusting you to go on this journey with him where he's like, okay, so there's this lady, right? She eats food. She enjoys entertainment, shows up on time. This is a lady who does not talk to people she does not like. And then he independently reaches the conclusion, what a fucking slut! And it's a classic forever, right? This is patriarchy operating on such a sneaky level, I gotta hand it to him, right? Because the song bangs, I'm gonna keep listening to it, right? It's a good song. But he's singing about nothing. Like he's just, and hoping no one notices, right? He's just like, she wears bug spray if there's bugs. She went to high school. That's the law. She wears clothing when clothing's appropriate. That's why my sister is a cunt. And you're like, why? It's a perfectly nice lady. The song's way more about Frank Sinatra than the very boring woman he's describing. All right, have a good night. Thank you.